lucky I had that pie this morning. Bloody hell. Aye, the chest strap's just broke. Sun's out and everything. Yeah. We're not even digging. We're not even digging here. We're not even digging deep. This is easy. There we have it, dog in a rucksack. One of the things you want to consider when you're thinking about going hiking, backpacking, camping with your dog is the breed, the character of your dog's fitness levels, and just its general temperament. So the breed, some breeds are more suited to doing hikes, and it depends what sort of, are you talking about a day hike, a one night camp over, a weekend excursion? Are you talking about like a long distance walk of hundreds to maybe thousands of miles or kilometers? For most breeds, I would say smaller dogs with maybe like short muzzles and such, they tend not to do so well on these longer things. Now, I can't really speak too much about that because I don't own any of these dogs, that breed. I've got a border collie. Now, border collies are renowned for being uber fit, having loads of stamina, endurance, and being able to go all day. They're a working dog. However, what I've found is, what with going hiking a lot, my fitness levels increasing, I need to basically pay attention to how well the dog's doing. In the cold, we can layer up more and we can regulate our temperature more. And in the warm, we're more efficient than dogs at cooling ourselves. Dogs don't sweat like we do. Because dogs don't sweat, they can't cool themselves essentially as effectively because dogs don't sweat. Wait, I'll need a wee scoop of Guinness here. I'm getting myself all tongue-tied. Because dogs don't sweat, they can't cool themselves as effectively as we can. That's why I've got Moss the cooling vest. But they're just not as good at it. So in warm temperatures, you need to be uber vigilant with your dog to make sure they're not overheating. Temperament. Your dog might not like hiking. It might be a dog that prefers just lying around all day and getting fed treats or getting clapped off of different people, or just it might not enjoy outdoor pursuits basically. You know, people can sometimes think that all dogs would love roaming about the woods. Well, they don't. Not all dogs do enjoy that. So what you need to do is get out there and go hiking. If you want to take your dog hiking, go hiking. Just go out for a couple hour walk, see how they get on, and the more you can get out there with your dog in a different variety of situations and weather conditions, the closer you're going to be with your dog. You're going to have a better bond and relationship. You're going to understand yourselves better. You're going to understand your capabilities, limits, and how you work together. Like, Moss, come 12 o'clock, she gets a bigger breakfast than me. Come 12 o'clock, she'll start looking up at me like, right, where's my lunch? I'm sort of getting tired here. And then see if I don't give her it, she'll start lying down and looking at me like, right, I'm basically threatening to just lie down and stop moving until I get my food. And first of all, I was like, oh, she's tired, you know, maybe we better slow down. See, as soon as I gave her that food, she's off like a bullet again. So sometimes you can actually pick up the wrong end of the speak. Moss can't talk yet. She almost can, but not quite. So she can't communicate exactly what she's thinking verbally as how we communicate, but we're so tied in together that by watching her, I can tell when things are happening, but also she communicates in different ways like that. So we know what we're like, and if she's feeling tired, if she's needing a break, I know all the little cues and such to pick up on it. The main thing you have to do is get out there, experience in that, see how you get on, look for workarounds. Maybe your dog gets really cold all the time and you'll need to invest in a good jacket for it. You don't know till you go out in a cold situation and find that out. Get out there and practice, get to know each other. That's the best way to do it. And you know what? It may be that your dog's not into hiking and camping, and you'll need to maybe look at having it stay with relatives or something like that while you go out and do your thing, if that's what you still want to do. The character of your dog is important. If you've got an aggressive dog that's not social and you're taking it out into the countryside, you either need to manage that or you need to mitigate the risks. If you've got an aggro dog, you know, we're in the countryside, you let it off, it won't cause any, there's nobody about. What if someone walks around the corner? What if you come across some livestock? Are you sure that you can get that dog to come back? Are you in absolute complete control? There's a huge problem with sheep worrying, and it's because out of control dogs. And you know, wee Jimmy would never do that. Dogs can turn into another dog in certain situations that, you know, isn't like wee Jimmy when presented with maybe something that awakens the more primal instincts in them. You can't take this for granted. You have to be so vigilant. Now, on the Cape Wrath Trail, there was a chap there who had a husky Alaskan Malamute, is it, cross? Like a big, strong beast of a dog. We got off a bus. The midges were really bad. The guy got distracted with midges. He had the dog was there, still on its lead, but not attached to him. And someone said, whatever the guy's name was, your dog's running away. Turned around and we watched it run around this road, chasing a flock of sheep. One of the sheep peeled off. The group went that way, one went another way. It went down, the dog got it and killed it. And the guy couldn't get it back. Now, the guy had a heart attack like a few months prior, and he ran down. It was a horrendous, stressful experience for us, for him, never mind for the poor livestock that get chased and that sheep that get killed. And the farmers lost an animal. It's so not cool. Like, it was terrible. It was a real, we were all standing there like, oh no, oh my God, this is really, really horrendous. The dog loved it though. You know, the dog, it was just doing its thing. You couldn't blame the dog. You have to, it's your responsibility. You have to manage it. You have to look after them. Now, dogs are like humans. They might be unfit, they might be overweight, they might be too skinny, whatever. Part of your long distance walking, if you don't train, you're going to fail. So your dog needs to train. Your dog is basically like you. You need to build up your strength, you need to build up your endurance, you need to gain the experience of being out there in different conditions, how you handle it, how long you can go for, your equipment. Is this right? Is that not right? Does it work? Your dogs should be, well, Moss is part of my life. She comes everywhere with me. When I'm out testing my equipment and seeing how I fare in different situations, she's doing the same. We're doing it together. So that part of that training and building up to your hiking day, maybe you're going to walk the West Highland Way or something like that, your dog should have been there with you every step of the way. Don't you go out training with your rucksack and all that, then buy something the week before you go and expect your dog to be able to hack it. That's not fair on the dog. Let them be a part of the journey and train with you. Now, character as well. If your dog's pulling on the lead the whole time, if your dog's running away and stressing you out, if your dog's being aggressive with other people or antisocial to people, if your dog's lying down or not fit enough and you're having to sort of cajole it and encourage it, if your dog's going in the mud, eating jobbies, getting wet, and you're thinking, oh, it's going to be in the tent the whole time, it can be stressful for you. If you're already trying to hike a certain distance and then you've got to find a campsite and pitch, if you're cold, tired, wet, and your dog's doing stuff like this, eventually it'll grate on you and you'll snap at the dog and you can end up it being a miserable experience. you have to get on with your dog. Your dog has to enjoy hiking and backpacking as much as you do. If your dog doesn't, it's going to have an impact on your enjoyment of the experience. You know, often people say you have to hike your own hike. This is more in relation to hiking with other groups of people. Well, the same applies to your dog. If it's like walking with another person. If the other person gets tired, what are you going to do? Be a bit of a jerk and leave them, or what? The same applies to your dog. You aren't walking your own walk. It's you and your dog walking a walk. If your dog gets tired, you have to stop. It's as simple as that. So bear that in mind. It's another consideration, but you ought to know all this before you head out. You ought to have been out in your day, your couple of hour walks, your day walks, your weekend walks, your weekend overnighters, your long distance, your hill days, all these different variations, rainy days, hot days. You should know if your dog's up for it or not. You should know if you're up for it or not, of course. And your dog will know what to expect. Part of it as well, if you've got a skittish dog, you don't want to be bringing it into like a tent for the first night, and then, you know, you're at a campsite and you're away getting a shower and the dog's like freaking out wondering what all these noises are. That's when you come back and your £600 tent would be in tatters because the dog's freaked out. You want to, it's conditioning, isn't it? You want an exposure. Your dog has to get used to the same things that you do. So do it gradually, bit by bit. That's the best advice I can give you for stuff like that. Vaccinations, make sure and get your dog vaccinated. If you've got any concerns about your dog before you go and speak to your vet. Give them a phone. They might be able to give you something for a just-in-case situation. They'll be able to give your dog a full health check, and they'll be able to give you expert advice and recommendations. They'll be able to check up on vaccinations, boosters, maybe make some alternative suggestions. If you have any query at all, just run it by your vet. I personally stay in the countryside. There's lots of ticks around here, so Moss is all vaccinated up, and you know, whether you're a believer in vaccinations for yourself or the dog or whatever, that's that's your thoughts. I'm not saying about this what I think about it either way. I personally try and always use and take advantage of as much help as I can get. So Moss is, as you've seen, got the tick collar. I use the spot-on treatments for fleas. She gets the wormer and stuff. We've got that sort of essential oil spray for her. Our bag, this is one thing I didn't mention. The bag is, there's like a treatment that's for our clothes as well, that protects things against ticks. It's called like peripherin or something like that. I'll put a link and mention it in the bottom. I did have the bottle, but I think I've thrown it out. I treated everything, and you treat the outside, you don't treat your under crackers, you know. You don't really want it rubbing. For all it's meant to be safe, I would rather still not have it rubbing against my skin. So Moss's bag, all of this gets sprayed with this. Now, when we've been away on that trip that was like 14 and a half days we were camping, our very last one, Moss, I seen a tick was on my arm, not attached. When I closed the gate, a tick's landed on my arm. I seen it and I brushed it off. There was a dead tick lying in the tent. And since we've got back, Moss has got one tick on her, but I actually think it hadn't been feeding long enough. I think the feed and drop off within 24 hours. It was still attached and alive. So I think she's actually picked that up since she came back. So we've been in the Highlands, wild camping every night in remote regions, not even going along paths, going through rough ground, and neither of us have picked up a tick. And I think that's through vigilance and proper preparation and planning for it. So that's another thing that's good to treat your dog clothes with. A thing that I have that's more for me, that's part of my equipment, is a spot device, and it's a GPS tracking device. Now, what it does is it lasts like 40 days or whatever in one set of batteries. People can log in and track, see where you are. It shows a little track of where you've been, but it also has buttons on it, which you can put a pre-configured message in. You can press a button that says, I'm okay, and it'll also attach your coordinates to it. So the person will get a text message and it says, all going well, your pre-configured message, here's my coordinates. So they can click on it, and I think it takes them to like Google Maps or something that will show exactly where you are. So there's different configurable buttons, but there's two major ones. One, you sign up to this emergency services network, and if you hit that button, that'll go to their call center and they'll look to see where you are, and they'll contact relevant authorities, be it mountain, like a mountain rescue service or something like that. When you sign up, you have to agree to certain things, so it's a broken leg or something you ought to have before you're hitting that button. Something serious. Don't be like, I forgot my sandwiches and I'm dead hungry. Someone would I'm sure there'd be consequences for you. However, there is another button that you can configure that's one that goes to people of your choosing, that's like, I'm in a bit of trouble here, nothing urgent, but could you maybe get someone to come out and help us? And that might be like, you know, your uncle or something. You're like, I'm in a bit of trouble, nothing urgent, but, you know, could you maybe have a drive out? And, you know, if you've got a couple of days worth of food or anything, say you've maybe turned your ankle, you could maybe wait for them to drive up in the car, pitch your tent. It's not for an emergency. If you've got a dog and something goes wrong, you either need to be fit enough and have the equipment and the ability to be able to hike out with the dog, carrying it somehow, or be able to camp up and wait for the dog to heal, to recover, or be able to go and get summon emergency services or get aid or help in one way or another, or have a device like that as another backup where you're like, something's happened to the dog, I can't leave it, I can't use the emergency, I can't phone 999, for example. Now, hopefully you've got mobile phone reception. This is for areas where you don't. If you've got a spot device, you can hit that button, say that I've got a bit of bother, and one of your family or friends can come out and check up on you. It's just another resource for you and your dog to consider should something go wrong. I don't know what it's like in other countries. I've never hiked with my dog in other countries, but if I would say the UK is particularly warm and welcome to dogs, and hiking my dog, especially with the rucksack. See, with the rucksack, the rain jacket and the little boots, people love it. You know, taking pictures, stopping cars, asking, going up to her. You know, it's like she's a wee celebrity. People are really taken with it, and yeah, it's good. It's a good experience. It's Scotland, access rights, how it's set up when you're hiking, the people. It's all good. It's all dog friendly basically, and folk love it. The best advice, tips and tricks is what we would apply to ourselves, and if we were going with a friend. Practice, get fit, do it gradually, increase volume, duration, intensity, slowly but surely. Practice using all your gear, getting familiar with it, using it in all different conditions. If it's not right, tweak it, modify it, do it, whatever. Get used to it, be comfortable in the environment, and just pay attention to each other and take care of each other. And that's it. Go out and then just go out and enjoy it. The best way is by actually hiking itself. If there's anything else you'd like to see that's dog related, or ask me in the comments below, I'll answer you. And happy hiking with your dog, your wee furry friend. I would love to see or hear about any adventures that you're on as well. So comment, drop us a line, you know, or a link to something, your adventures and all that. It'd be great to see. For more adventures with Moss and I, subscribe. There should be like a little thing that's appeared where you can click on to subscribe, or my big face will be appearing with Moss up in one of the corners. If you can click on that, it'll take you to, I think, my page where you can subscribe, the main page, the home page. I've got like a 14.5 day 240 mile hike to upload that Moss and I just recently done, so that'll be appearing there soon, and I'll put links to some of my previous ones where Moss and I have been hiking. So it's difficult to think of everything that's happened and to summarise it, but if you watch those videos, you might pick up on things that I've not thought to say now, that you'll see how we fare then. So thanks for watching. Hope you have a good weekend and happy hiking. Cheers. Moss, are you coming to say bye? Are you coming to say bye? Are you going to say bye? No.